Hey Shelby, how you doing? Okay, great job. Great start here. Okay. Um, so one of the things I want to mention is that you're saying, is this the name of the city, Mount Neba? Because you don't have a location for the host a Winter Olympics. It's typically a city. So you wouldn't be saying that Mount Neba is the location. You'd be saying that Central Honshu, Japan. So Honshu would be the location. Just want to make that really specifically clear. Otherwise, it sounds like you're having planning an event based on a specific mountain. That doesn't make sense because of all the infrastructure involved. Now, as I said, I think you've got a lot of really good points here. You've thought of some really great things. One of the things I recommend is that a lot of the things that you're saying in your writing don't point to research, and I say that because you've only got one work cited. You've only got one research resource. So, of course, you would have to back up everything you're saying here, including things like Hot Monkey Springs and Nagano Hot Springs. And wherever you got information from there, you have to really have to back it up with resources. Okay, excuse me. Um, so the other thing I noticed is that your writing seems like, and if remember the introduction, it states that we don't really want to approach this like a tour guide. And I think it's starting to sound like that with yours because you're saying not feeling like hanging around for your events, just interested in watching. Check out our Monkey Hot Springs. It sounds like an event guide. You know what I'm saying, or a promotion guide, which it's not. It's basically a setup for the recommendation of a city, a host city for the Winter Olympics, which means you really have to back it up with some solid fact. Instead of saying, this is a great place because we have this, and this, you have to say, okay, this is what we have, and this is why it's suitable to accommodate a event of this magnitude. I hope that makes sense. Okay, a couple of things I'd like you to consider in your final iteration here is, you talk about things like this. Okay, you want to do some serious shopping, a 2-hour train ride. So what does that point to, Shelby? That points to the infrastructure, the transportation infrastructure. So instead of saying, "Hey, you want to do some shopping? It's only a 2-hour train ride," allude to the fact that your host city has a solid, integral transportation infrastructure that's able to accommodate the millions of people that will be converging on this city for this event of this magnitude. Okay. Some other things I want you to consider when you're writing your final iteration of the paper. Again, it's everything has got to point to research. So talk about the weather. Okay, what is the average and the mean temperatures, and what is the snowfall, and why is this able to accommodate a Winter Olympic event? Venues for sporting events and ceremonies. Are there existing infrastructure, or will they have to be built? If they have to be built, is this host city capable of those resources? If not, point to the fact that, and you did allude to this a little bit, but if not, point to the fact that maybe neighboring cities are able to accommodate or spill over some of the converging millions that come on this city will spill over into neighboring cities, again, which points to the existing transportation infrastructure. Okay, really important to get this really solid facts here. Okay, accommodations for athletes, coaches, media, and in nearby venues, considerations for athletes' families. So, in other words, hotel rooms. How many hotel rooms are there available in this city? And if there aren't enough, I don't remember how many Winter Olympics, but if you look at the IOC, International Olympic Committee, you'll find out how many rooms they recommend for a event of this size. So talk about that availability of housing for not only the athletes, the Olympic Village, but also for families and guests and spectators. Okay, so again, easily navigable and affordable transportation infrastructure. Okay, also, what is the nightlife here? What is the entertainment? Is it easy? Is the nightlife going to be easy? So, in other words, leisure activities and for participants when not competing or attending an event. Not only participants, but guests as well. What's the nightlife like? You talked about public safety. Give us some facts and research on that. Don't just say it's one of the safest places on earth. That's not enough, okay? You have to point to research. Then I have a couple other things for your consideration. The cultural heritage. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the cultural heritage, which, geez, I mean, it's so rich in Japan that should be very, very easy. Environmental sustainability. So if we can pretty much assume in this day and age, if it's not a sustainable event, it's not going to happen. So what are the capabilities and what are the capabilities of this location to handle a sustainable event? Social issues and equality, very, very important. Hotbed topic, absolutely. So point to that in your final paper too. Communication infrastructure. Is this location able to handle the magnitude of communication, not only cell towers, but landlines and satellite link-ups and things like that? Is this location able to handle that type of communication? And then the political climate. I know that, I think, is 2022 Beijing? I think it is, but there's a lot of people that are really like Beijing, China. It's one of the most political hotbed countries in the world. And there's a lot of oppression and a lot of really what people believe to be very bad things going on in China. So is that something that we want to show the world? You see what I'm saying? So think about that. And then, of course, medical accommodations, emergency and other. Are there enough hospitals around to be able to handle a event of this magnitude? Okay, so as I said, fantastic start, really good job. I really would like to see a lot more resources than this. I mean, if you take a look at Brian's paper, well, let me just open that real quick because he wrote a really good paper too. But I want to show you his resources. He's given resources at the end of each page, so he's got literally probably 15 resources in this. Well, no, maybe 10 resources, 10 or 11 resources in this little mini 4-page paper. So that shows you what kind of research it really should be included in this presentation. So again, you don't have to do anything here. Just take my comments moving forward into your final presentation, which is due next week. And that's for this part, the introduction kind of report for the for your location, your bid for your host city. Okay, good job, Shelby. Any questions, comments, or other, please give me a holler. Thank you.